Fristers is now almost 16 years old. So 16 years ago, I only had the vision at the time for serving teen mothers.
What were you looking for at that time that you couldn't find?
None of us come from, perfect homes, and we
Right.
didn't necessarily have the right role models. We don't know how to do this thing called parenting.
Is there anything we can do as a community or anything you guys are doing to try to help kind of limit the amount of teen pregnancies?
Our goals are to help them learn how to be successful parents.
You might be able to bridge the gap there, I would think, because some of these parents, they have money and they just need a little bit more education.
I am grateful and proud to say we have a lot of success stories.
Today we got Allie Woodward of Fristers organization. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited
Hell yeah.
to be here.
I'm in the real estate and the real estate of mine.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 15 of the Real Estate of Mind podcast. Today I got an entrepreneur that's here in Orange County, coming from a nonprofit organization here in Orange County. I'm looking to learn a lot about it. Today we got Allie Woodward of Fristers organization. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited
Hell yeah.
to be here.
Thank you. So, as I talked to you a little bit about it before, this subject, I'm looking to learn a lot about this subject just because it's not my field of expertise. So I wanted to kind of introduce my audience to a different subject. And this is something that you're helping the community with that I want everybody else to kind of know about. And it will give, you a platform to speak to that as well. So anyway, guys, we're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about, how it works. We're going to talk about your background, and then we're going to talk about your entrepreneurial business aspects of your life. And then we'll get into your organization, and we'll get into a little bit of the future of the organization at the end. So I guess we'll start out. Yeah, just tell us a little bit about you, kind of where you started from in terms of, your background, like where you grew up, and, how you started as a businesswoman.
Awesome. Well, I grew up in Orange County.
Okay, cool. You're here the whole time.
I've been here the whole time, and went to Los Alamitos High School.
Okay.
Went to Cal State Long Beach. So I'm a local girl, danced when I grew up, worked at Disneyland, all the things that we Southern California girls do.
Cool.
And I started off in working for the coal company.
Okay.
Which is in Orange County, commercial real estate developers and managers. Was an executive assistant there, worked in their property management department, then went up to San Francisco for a short period of time and worked for investment banking firm Montgomery Securities back in the day when all the IPOs were out. So it was a really exciting time when all the tech companies
Like early
were going
2000s,
public. Yeah.
or right around 2000, right when the tech bubble was going on?
Yes,
Okay.
it was fabulous with the
Yeah.
Googles and
Yeah.
and all the companies. And then came back here. I got married. It's been almost 26 years.
Oh, wow. Congrats.
Was married,
It's a long
yes.
time.
Best friend and partner, Joe. And we have a golden doodle. We're dog people.
Cool.
We love Mexico. We love
Traveling.
but just staying at home. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Nice. And obviously, you're still here in Orange County.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about, we talked a little bit about your entrepreneurial background. Before you started Fristers, is that how you kind of got all your business aspects kind of from your last two jobs? You were an investment banker and you were working in commercial real estate. Is that kind of your bread and butter in terms of business?
It is. Of course, getting a degree in finance was extremely important prior to this nonprofit. And then working for companies, for public companies, and private, but just learning about the business world, learning about marketing, administration, HR.
Right. And then you've taken all that into now the Fristers organization.
Absolutely.
Which is,
it's been very important to starting and running a nonprofit.
Nice. Now, let's just obviously talk about the bread and butter and why you're here. Let's talk a little bit about Fristers. We'll talk about I guess you could really talk about how it started and you can kind of we start from there.
Well, as part of that background on me, one thing that I don't share a lot, but it comes out, of course, with my work at Fristers. But at 16, going to local high school, I got pregnant.
Okay.
And there were no resources back then to help a young mother at 16. Nothing that I could find, of course. And so years later, when I kind of started to be thinking about those days of being in high school. In fact, I was kind of a high school mentor at my church, Mariners Church, and I was mentoring high school girls. And so kind of being with them and talking about their high school days brought back my high school days.
Right.
And I started to think about how could I help, because the high school girls today, if they got pregnant, they didn't know where to go. They didn't know if there were any resources that could help them. And so I was actually sitting in church one day, and it was one of the talks about how to get involved in the community. And, I wanted to give back in some way. And I heard them say, help pregnant and parenting teens, which is exactly what...
And that rang a bell, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everything was kind of lining up, and that's what sounded really great. And so I ran out to go sign up to volunteer. Well, the pastor doesn't know how those words came out of her mouth. There was no program for pregnant and parenting teens. And
they don't even know why they said it, you're saying?
They don't know why they said it. They don't know how it came out of her mouth.
Right, okay.
But here I was, somebody that responded to it. And so they gave me an opportunity to start an outreach program at the church to figure out how to mobilize volunteers to serve and help young pregnant teens. That's kind of how I got my start.
Nice. Now, let's talk a little bit about what you do with... Well, I guess let's talk about the name, first of all. How did you guys come up with that name?
Well, when you start a company of any kind, of course, you
Right.
need to come up with your name. That's going to be kind of your personality. And then, of course, you've got to do all the background into looking, can you get the domain, the website domain? Can you, because you kind of want that to go along with your company. And all the marketing materials that you'll eventually create. And so I knew that I wanted a community for young parents that was very inviting, that was very positive, that was fun, that didn't seem like some social, calamity, even though it is. But something that they would want to come to and find a place of acceptance and belonging.
Yeah.
And so after researching all kinds of different names, I came upon Fristers, which stands for Friends and Sisters.
Oh, nice.
And so at the time, Fristers is now almost 16 years old. So 16 years ago, I only had the vision at the time for serving teen mothers. I had no idea where we would go, but I thought that was an appropriate name, Friends and Sisters.
Yeah.
To provide a fun, positive community for young moms that they'd like to say, hey, I'm going down to my mom's club.
Your mom's group or whatever.
Instead of I'm in need and I'm going down to get support,
Yeah.
I just wanted a different feeling for them. So
Yeah.
that's how the name came up.
Nice. That's a great way to come up with a name. Let's kind of go into, what you got, because you said you were looking for support. Well, can I ask, can I go back a little bit? Like, what were you actually, when you were looking for support, what are you actually looking for? Are you looking for somebody to talk to? Were you not being supported, by, your family or your parents? What were you looking for at that time that you couldn't find?
Well, kind of what most young, brand new mothers are facing is, how do you raise a child? How do you raise a child when you're in high school, when you don't even have a driver's license, you have no car?
Right.
Oftentimes, a young mom is kicked out, not accepted by her family.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, she's homeless, trying to find somebody's couch to live on. There's no money. The baby is 24/7. How are you buying diapers? What do you do? You need support in every manner you can imagine.
No, I understand. Are you aware of, are there any like government programs? Because I know that, I mean, California is just notorious for giving money to everybody.
You know, it's funny. There are some programs, but not the kind of support that you need.
Yeah.
There's
I'm not talking about mental support. I'm really more talking about monetary support.
There is support if you are staying in school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but there's age limits to that. I think the age limit is 20, perhaps.
Okay.
You know, if you've gotten a high school diploma and you're going to college, there's some government money. There's WIC, which is Women, Infant, and Children Program, where you can get formula and food stamps, you know, and then you go shopping and you use
that's
that.
what I was thinking about. Food
There's
stamps
that.
and things like that.
There
Yeah.
are some county programs that can provide you with a nurse, but again, specific age limits, you know, so if you happen to be too young, too old, it's not for you. But that's about all.
Yeah, they're really niche programs, and you might not fit
some
into
formula, maybe some diaper support, maybe a nurse if you're pregnant and you need the help.
Yeah, because you also need to go to a hospital and deliver a baby.
Yes, you need everything.
Yeah, I have kids. I can understand how that would be, and it's tough raising children for us now, and we're full-fledged adults, and I can't just.
Raising a child is a challenge at any age.
Yeah. And you're finding that these parents are, I don't know if you would know the statistics, but so they're basically, some of them are actually getting kicked out of their homes.
Absolutely. Yes, statistically, only 50% of teenage mothers ever get a high school diploma. 50%.
I can understand why, but yeah.
But without a high school diploma, your chances of getting a job are really limited.
Right.
And your chances of surviving economically get diminished tremendously. Unfortunately, they often get kicked out. Or they lose their friends because their friends don't have children or out partying, and here they are with a baby. So they kind of isolate. Therefore, they have higher rates of depression.
Right.
Then they're very vulnerable to domestic violence.
Yeah.
And getting into risky behaviors, substance abuse.
Depression leads to substance abuse.
Absolutely.
And all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And what do you think? How often are these women still with the man that impregnated them?
Rarely.
That's another.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of issues, which is why later on we developed programming to support young dads and the young parent couple to help them. But it is tough. Dads have their own struggles, which is none of us come from perfect homes, and we didn't necessarily have the right role models. We don't know how to do this thing called parenting. Sometimes we don't know. So there's a lot of pressure on the male as well. But no, they're typically not. Large percentage are not together. So it leaves a lot of single mothers.
Now, so you guys step in, and not only do you are you guys providing mental support and I guess financial support, or is it just kind of more of a mental support group of people?
Well, we looked, when we developed Fristers for our mothers and for our fathers, really we wanted the comprehensive support with a 16-year-old raising a child. What do they need? Well, number one, yes, they need mental support. They need to be around other people who accept them, who are like them, that they can relate to. We all need a place of belonging. So we provide that by having weekly groups for them. They come together weekly. We provide dinner. We provide the child care programs. We provide a community of support with our mentors, our facilitators, our staff, and other peers. Then we knew they need education. In so many things. They need skills. They need resources. They need coaching. So we really focus on parenting skills, number one, from raising a newborn all the way to getting them into school.
Yeah.
We focus on life skills of all sorts, from understanding and learning time management skills, health and nutrition skills, financial literacy, everything that they, all of a sudden they're an adult, even though they're a child raising a child, but they have to act like an adult. They have to learn how to advocate. So life skills, relationship support and skills. Again, not everybody grew up with the perfect role models, even though they tried. So we need to learn how to communicate how to listen, how to resolve anger in healthy ways, how to resolve conflict, solve problems, just build healthy relationships. And then we're very focused on education, getting that high school diploma, introducing college and vocational training opportunities, getting them ready for the workplace, helping them understand that there are careers available as a single parent. We just have to open their eyes to them, help get them moving in that direction.
No, it's super difficult being a single parent. So now now you're trying to take them to vocational school or trying to mentor them to take them into a vocational program or some type of educational, obviously finish high school. What about, it came into my head, babysitting. Like, where's this child at the time? If they did get kicked out of the home and their parents for some reason didn't want them there or whatever the case may be. Yeah, what happens to these kids?
It is a very big problem, and not just for these kids. In Orange County in general, we're still really having issues with child care, support for anybody.
Yeah.
We do try and introduce them to the subsidized care, there is some availability, but there's always wait lists.
Right.
And so it is really hard.
You got to be below a certain income level, probably, or something like that.
Yes, which they usually qualify for.
Right.
But, there's so much demand. But you're right. Here they might be ready to get a job.
It's impossible to go to school and then you got to...
Where's the baby?
I know some of, the girl that I know, she was going to school and work, and it's tough. You're going to need a place to put this kid or this child. And
they don't always have it.
Wow. Yeah,
many of them do not.
That's tough. And and obviously... you obviously only have a certain amount of budget that you can help with. I know that I read online that you have a $750,000 budget to work with. Is that still currently the budget, or is it year by year? And how do you guys get funding for that budget?
It is year by year. That is a really low budget because, believe it or not, we get...
What does that encompass? Yeah, what do you have to go into that?
Well, in order to make this, Fristers is very unique in that we have a very limited staff. We keep staffing low because we have a huge volunteer program. We really love to get the community involved in supporting these families that are in the communities. So we have a ton of opportunities, and every time a volunteer does something, provides something, of course, it's reducing our costs. We have a college internship program, so we partner with Cal State Fullerton, Biola, Chapman, offering academic internships for college students. They get experience working with at-risk youth, and then we get to utilize them for hours of work at no salaries. So that helps.
Yeah.
But Fristers is not government funded at all. We are probably as one of the only nonprofits that supports adolescent parents in Orange County. We are 100% privately funded, which is pretty unheard of. Almost all nonprofits in Orange County.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. But typically there's some government funding.
Right.
That leaves you very vulnerable, though, when you do accept that government funding, that if the next year you don't get the funding, then you could lose your whole program.
Goodbye, yeah.
Whereas we're funded by corporate grants, corporate sponsorships, companies, volunteers, just independents who appreciate this work, want to give back to their community, and write a check and keep us going, keep us here.
And what kind of events are you guys putting on to generate this funding?
I write corporate grant applications throughout the year.
Oh, okay.
We're so grateful that we have the support of companies like In-N-Out Burger,
oh, wow. Cool.
Golden State Foods, Safeway, CMF, big companies of all industries. We do 2 very large special events during the year. In fact, next month is our Big Ladies Luncheon event, which we hold at the Newport Beach Country Club, a very fun, beautiful event for ladies to attend, but raises income to support. And then in the fall, we do what we call our Celebration Gala for men and women, make it fun, dinner, cocktails, cigar bars, program,
cool.
live auction, silent auction. It's great.
Yeah.
And all supporting and bringing in money to keep the doors open so that a young parent out there and their child have a place to go to get help in Orange County.
Beautiful. Now, how many people do you have right now in this program?
Our average numbers that we serve are about 250 families. So that's
Okay.
going to be around 250 parents plus probably 350 children. So we're serving about 500 to 600 people a year.
And so you see some of these parents, or some of these teen parents, are they having multiple children?
They do.
Sometimes?
Yeah, it takes a while to understand and to gain self-esteem and to,
Right.
Figure it out.
Sometimes they
and
fall in that same...
They
Yeah, it
do.
is what it is. It's part of
They're
human
looking
nature.
for love and connection, and this happens.
Right.
So
Now, I mean, is your program full basically? Do you guys still have space, or is it a limited amount of people that you're allowed to take on, or how's that going?
we have space. What our model is that we set up and establish chapters in different cities throughout Orange County, because there's pockets of poverty and the need to serve low-income families throughout Orange County. When COVID happened, prior to COVID, we had 5 locations in Orange County.
Oh, okay.
Then COVID happened, and we had to shut everything down, of course. And now this is our second year. We're reestablishing chapters, and so currently we have a group that meets every week in Santa Ana. We have one in Fountain Valley. We have one in Mission Viejo, and then we have a virtual group still. But we're looking to launch in Anaheim this year, and kind of continue to broaden out. We need to be where the families are. Otherwise, it's really difficult for them to get to us.
Right.
If they either don't drive, or they don't have a car, or they don't have money for gas. So we need to be close to them, where they can come and get support.
Got it. Now, you guys are obviously looking to you're looking to help teenage pregnancies after they become pregnant. Is there anything we can do as a community, or anything you guys are doing to try to help kind of limit the amount of teen pregnancies, so we can let these kids basically, like live their lives and have kids kind of when they're ready? Are we doing any educational seminars or events or anything like that? Or?
Well, we are after that point. So we are not a.
You're not a prevention.
We're not on the prevention side.
Okay.
We jump in if they've chosen to parent and there's a child. Where most of 90% of our mothers come to us with children.
Okay.
And we're here to support them. We don't do the counseling or
You
any
don't
of
do
that.
any of that kind of stuff?
No.
I
They're
know-
mothers when they come to us.
Okay.
Or fathers.
I mean, we talked a little bit about the support, but I wanted to kind of dive a little bit deeper into that. So you guys do groups. Can you go a little further into that? Is there anything other than the groups that you guys do?
Yes.
I know you did talk about the educational stuff, but if you can kind of just dive a little bit deeper into that.
So key components of the program are going to be weekly groups that parents come to. We offer multiple groups for mothers. We also offer a weekly group for couples. And we offer programming for dads. At the groups, we provide dinner for all participants. For some, it's the healthiest meal they're going to have all week. But we do find the best time to meet with everybody is in the evening. Everybody has to eat. Eating is a
Right.
great way to build relationships. Providing those meals is a great opportunity for people to serve, restaurants to donate. So we eat together, then we provide opportunities for building relationship, then we provide our classes and workshops that are focused in those areas of parenting, life skills, education, career guidance, healthy relationships. Through the year, we celebrate all of the holidays. We provide that sense of community. We provide professional mother-baby photos. We do pumpkin patches and Christmas toy shops, and really helping them learn how to build a family, giving them the skills that they need to gain stability and confidence to raise their kids. All the while, we have a children's program so that the parents can focus on themselves with a safe childcare option. But children of teen parents need so much as well. They're often not put into preschool, which means they're not prepared for kindergarten.
Right.
One of the latest reports that came out in Orange County is only 50% of children are prepared for kindergarten in Orange County. That's
from
all,
teen parents or just everybody?
No, that's just
So
full on across the
Okay,
board. Only
okay.
52% of children are prepared for kindergarten. That's unheard of.
Right.
That's-
You're saying that's in Orange County?
That's in Orange County. That is a
Surprising,
recent
yeah.
stat. So a lot of them, I would say, probably do come from young parents because young parents rarely put their children into preschool. They can't afford it.
They don't have the time either. They
They
got to
can't
make ends meet,
afford it,
right?
yeah.
So It's
So
tough.
because of that, our children's program not only takes care of the children, loves them, cares for them, of course, but we have a school readiness program that gets them ready for kindergarten.
oh wow.
So
Okay.
it is based
That's
on
super
CDC
important, yeah.
guidelines. We are getting them to learn all the basics, letters, numbers, shapes, colors, how to socialize with other kids, respect their teachers, sit for story time, do crafts, and learn all the basics to go to kindergarten. We even help parents learn how to enroll their kids into kindergarten, transition them in to
Wow.
make it the most successful endeavor for
Yeah.
them, because really they don't know.
Yeah.
Most people don't know. Yes, tiny little fact that the year that your child is going to start kindergarten in September, you need to start in January.
Oh,
Getting them
yeah, yeah, yeah.
enrolled,
I'm doing
getting
that
their
now, so,
yeah, right?
Yeah.
You start, but teen parents don't know that.
Yeah.
Who's telling
I
them?
didn't even know that. My wife did it, so I don't
No,
know.
they think they'll go down on September 15th and think that everything's fine.
Right.
Well, then that kid won't be ready. They'll get kicked out.
Yeah.
They'll get delayed. So we are here to provide all these hidden rules, so to speak, that they
Just
don't
guidance
know.
in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. It's as simple as guidance, as coaching. Things that we all just take for granted, but they need to know.
Yeah, but you just mentioned that you're doing. It's kind of like it's basically preschool, right? Kind of.
Yeah, it is a preschool.
It is so it's. Oh,
Yes.
you just said it's a licensed preschool.
It's
Or
not a licensed preschool. It's a preschool curriculum.
It's a preschool curriculum, but
Yes.
it's also kind of. I mean, at that age, because I'll take my son over there. It's basically for us. It's like a daycare. Like
Right.
It gets. It gets my son into an activity with other
Yes.
children that are
Yes.
his age, and then mom and dad can go work basically.
Yes. Yes.
So I asked you before about daycare, but that kind of is a daycare in a sense.
In a way, but it's so much more than a daycare.
Yeah, I know, but
Yes.
at that age,
Yes.
I already know they're not. Yeah, at that age, it almost is a daycare.
Yes.
But I know what you're trying to say.
Yes,
Totally.
yes.
That's perfect.
So there's the groups, there's the dinner, the childcare, the classes, and then another huge component is what we call case management services.
Okay, what is that?
That is, we have social workers, case managers, who
Oh,
work
that's-
one-on-one with
Okay.
every family to look at their life situation, their housing situation, their educational background, their work background, their kids, their ages, and how can we connect them to resources in the community that can benefit them, that
Got
can
it.
meet their needs. Do they need housing? Do they need food? Do they need legal? Do they
That's
need
super
mental
important.
health
Yeah.
services? Do their child need to go into preschool somewhere?
This is
so
provided by the government, essentially, or
this
these are
is all by
caseworkers.
us, our workers.
Oh, these are your caseworkers.
These are our caseworkers. So young parents joining
Wow.
Fristers are going to get a
That's-
case manager that will work with them during their time with us to connect them, to ensure they're getting the
That
help.
one-on-one counseling. That's
One-on-one.
Out of all the stuff you said, I think that would be one of the most beneficial.
It's huge.
things.
It's helped
Yeah.
people, get enrolled and, we help them explore college.
Yeah.
We help them look at enroll. We help them with the application process, the financial aid. We help them get enrolled in CalOptima, which is Medi-Cal, if they don't have insurance. Whatever they need, legal services,
Yeah.
child support services. We are there to help connect. And we have to do all of our homework, because if we have a young mother who's living in Anaheim, we can't connect her to a service in Mission Viejo,
Right.
that might charge $150 an hour.
Right.
Well, that's not, we don't want to cause any harm. We want to make sure we know who we're referring, where they are, how to help them.
And then you mentioned housing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Housing, obviously, in Orange County is extremely expensive.
Yes.
And with these teen mothers, essentially, some of them, like you said, getting kicked out of their homes. Do you know of any housing that's available for these type of mothers to how
Like you said,
Shelter.
housing, we all know
It's a
how
problem, yeah.
expensive housing is in Orange County. Unless a mother is facing, trying to escape a domestic violence situation, or even homeless, but literally homeless, not even has a car. Because if you have a car, it sounds terrible, but you have a place. That's how difficult it is.
Yeah.
But we do have all the referrals for housing, for emergency shelter, even for motel vouchers, which is a step oftentimes because our housing shelters in Orange County, a lot of them are at capacity. And so, there's nowhere to put people.
Right.
So it is a very difficult situation here in Orange County. The child care was an issue, and the housing is an issue. So if, they come to us and say, well, my mother hates me, I can't live here anymore.
Yeah.
Well, we have to talk to her about, well, there really aren't any options. Can we work it out with your mother? How can we make it better? Because whatever they can get is better than being on the street
100%. Now,
with a child.
Yeah, no, it's tough. Now, through your program, do you recall can you recall a success story that you could share with the audience that, that somebody might resonate with, that you've kind of helped out bring from from kind of 0 to 100, or from beginning to end, so to speak?
Well, I am grateful and proud to say we have a lot of success stories.
That's great.
Our goals are to help them learn how to be successful parents. We want to help them learn how to have successful relationships. We want to get them, number one, a high school diploma. We want to get them employed or in college. So any one of those things in any of those categories is a huge win.
It is a success. You're right.
But to get them
Step
all,
forward,
that's kind of the cream of the crop, the ultimate, and those girls worked really hard to get there. And so we have what we call our graduation program. So girls that work our program, they're here, they meet the eligibility, they graduate. And they are really ones that have succeeded in all of those categories. We have one gal, Jessica. She was pregnant at 16. She came from an Asian family, and she was shunned.
I could see that. Yeah.
They would have nothing to do with her. Girl.
It is crazy though that they're just, because even in the Asian, I got a lot of Asian friends. It's crazy. They just tell their daughter like goodbye, like just that's it.
In every culture, I just think
it's just I don't know. It's just hard for me to like really conceptualize that really happens to people. I don't know.
Well, it's the initial shock, and it's a human. What? This is terrible. This isn't what I wanted, and
Yeah, but you got to deal with it. It's life. It is what it is.
Well, in the end, they came back together.
Yeah,
but this gal, 16. What is she going to do? Well, she graduated in high school. She went on to Cal State Long Beach and graduated from a university. She went on to get her master's at USC.
There you go, Jessica.
And today she is a counselor in the Garden Grove School District.
Perfect. Nice.
Her son, she's still single. They're best friends. I think he is 13, 14 today, doing great. That's a real success story.
Yeah.
We have another gal, graduated high school, college. She's an airline pilot today.
Well, that's great too.
We have ones that went in to start their own companies. There are, a little bit of support can change a life.
Yeah.
And we always, celebrate the parent because we're just providing resources and guidance and help, but they have to do it. They have to raise a child and figure out how to go to school, how to get a job, how to do all these things. So when they get to that level of success, we're so proud of them for the work
That's
that
amazing.
they've
All
done.
those success stories you just mentioned. Yeah, I wanted to kind of just hear some of that and have the audience hear some of that. But I know that that's not always the case, and a lot of times, mental health is an issue in your field and things like that. I don't know if we discussed it already, but did you guys, in terms of mental health, do you have anybody who's an actual professional, I guess psychologist or psychiatrist, things of that nature? Do you have anybody that are professionals that are helping these teen mothers that are, I guess, on the other end of the spectrum that really kind of need that help?
Depression and anxiety. We do not on staff provide that level of therapy, but we refer. We know where to send them, how to get them to get that help that they need from professionals at no cost.
Oh, that's great.
at no cost. So we have a lot of referrals that we can provide, that we encourage them, that we connect them,
Yeah.
and that we follow up and make sure that
It's
they're
getting
getting
kicked
support.
out by your mom and dad, and you're still a kid. Some of these girls are 15 years old.
That's right.
They're like
Or younger.
or younger. That's just crazy to be
It
kicked
is
out.
crazy.
To be kicked out at that age and not even knowing where to go. I guess they would reach out to other family.
But when we also
But I
look
don't
at
know.
it, it is easy to judge, and yet, okay.
It
now,
is easy
what
to
about that
judge,
little
yeah.
child?
Yeah,
We can't, we got to help.
correct.
We can help.
Yeah.
And everybody hears the first 5 years are so important, and they are
Yeah.
so important in that little kid's life, and we can help.
Yeah.
With not a lot. $750,000 for a budget for working with 250 families with all of that
It's
care
not a lot.
and
Yeah.
support and case management, mentors, classes,
Yeah.
all the extra things we do.
And you still have to run a business. It's not, yeah, those,
Oh,
I run a
yes.
bit, it's not a lot of money. It'll go
No.
like that, especially in California.
Yes.
Just with how expensive it is. I'm sure you got to pay rent at your
Of
office or
course.
facility, and you got to keep the lights on. Everything costs money, so nothing is free.
Running a nonprofit is the same thing as running a for-profit business. I would say it's even harder because not only do we have to focus on the work that we want to do, like a product that you're selling, whatever
Right.
it is you're doing, but you have to work on getting the money to
That's
do
the
it
toughest part.
because this doesn't make money. This
That's the
takes
toughest
money.
part. Yeah.
So
that's
it's my job to, figure out ways to raise $750,000, and every year that we want to grow and launch a new chapter to serve a new community, does take some additional costs.
Yeah.
So it goes up.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you just talked about growth. Is there growth in this field? I mean, I guess it's a two-edged sword. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. We really don't want too much growth because it's not, probably a subject. We don't want a ton of teen mothers, right? But are you seeing growth, or is there, from what I understand, honestly, there's a decline in teen pregnancies. But I mean, you're the expert. You can kind of enlighten us on that.
Over time, there are slight declines in teenage pregnancy. We serve young parents ages 13 to 25.
Okay.
The brain isn't fully developed until the age of 25. So anything under that, you're missing that cognitive portion that helps you understand consequences and the higher level decision making. So they're very young, immature parents still
Right.
that need support. So that's a wide range of ages. And so we have not seen any declines over the years.
Okay.
Instead, our numbers typically, go up each year. We continue to receive referrals of new parents in need every week.
Is it
Every
because
week.
you think your brand essentially is getting more popular and that there is a support group like yourself?
I do think so.
yeah.
I mean, it's, it takes running a business, it takes years,
It does,
and
yeah.
and we've been here almost 16 years.
It's a long time. They
and
say
so
5 years is most businesses or something like. I don't know what the stat
and
is.
nonprofits is even less.
Less than that, yeah.
So we're
That's-
very grateful that the community really has come around us to support us and sees the benefit in serving young families that really serves all of our communities in the end. There's less gang, less crime. Families are thriving.
There's more
and
people on
giving
the straight
back.
path. You don't want to
Yes.
see people go down the wrong path. I always
No.
want to see people get ahead
And that
pretty-
next generation,
Yeah.
the children,
yeah.
it's all about
It's all about them. They're the real. I don't want to call them victims, but they're the real people that.
they're really vulnerable.
Yeah, the people that we really need to, protect, basically,
Yes.
like you said.
And
So
anywhere from 300 to 500 children a year are impacted by Fristers.
300 to 500 people.
Children.
Children.
Just children.
Just the children.
Just the children, whether it's getting diaper support, because diapers are expensive.
Yeah.
And, a young mother doesn't know that you can't, they don't have the money, so they
Mm-hmm.
might leave a diaper on all day. Well, you can't do that with
Yeah.
a child because then the child gets diaper rash, and then you
Right.
need money for diaper rash cream, and then you've
Right.
got to be disciplined, and there's just so many things. But even diaper support for a baby, we're so happy to do it. We're so
Yeah.
happy to provide free
Yeah.
diapers. But the education, even, details like I told you we have the preschool for the children. Well, we know that these young families don't have the money to purchase the materials that kids need and should be doing at home. Little chubby
Yeah.
pencils and whiteboards and books. So we give each parent a take-home box every semester filled with all of these things for the kids
Oh, cool.
so that they can practice at
That's
home.
awesome,
They can
yeah.
continue the work, all gifted to them.
Yeah.
And then teaching them how to work with their kids using these materials. So,
I'm sorry to kind of go back to it,
Mm-hmm.
go back to a topic we were talking about before, but I was just thinking about, because some of the, I guess for the children, they're like basically the parents of the teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, they can support the child,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they don't want to. Do you guys ever get involved in that type of counseling?
no,
No, you kind of just stay out of it and kind of let them do their own thing, and you're just focused on
the parent and the
teenage
child.
daughter or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're focused on the child. Okay, yeah, because I thought, I don't know, I think there's, I don't know, you might be able to bridge the gap there, I would think, because some of these parents, they have money and they just need a little bit more education, and
Mm-hmm.
they're honestly, like you said, they're ashamed that their daughter got pregnant or whatnot.
Yeah.
No, they want nothing to do
They're
with their
not trying to
daughter.
do something. They don't really know.
But this is
the
your grandchild at
consequences.
the end of the day, and you can help, and you're living in this. and Some of them, I'm sure not all of them, but you can support this person. And I just feel kind of bad when
I know.
you're there letting this like grandchild go, basically.
I know. I'm, thankfully, over the years, I've, heard so many families reconnect
Yeah.
once the child
That's
is
after the
there.
fact, though. We want them to connect at the
is.
beginning,
I
not when the
know.
child's 10 years old or something
I
like
know.
that. Now they've grown up, and you've seen obviously it's a decent, beautiful looking child, and they're
Yes.
living a regular life. Now you want a piece of it? Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I just,
know. It is sad. It's
I
a
would rather
lost
people
opportunity.
connect before, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, and you said you are seeing some growth. You are seeing some growth in your company, basically.
Yes.
Do you have a chapter that's coming up that we can talk about?
Well, I don't have the exact details, so I can't be too
Oh, yeah.
specific,
Oh,
but
you're
we're
good,
really
yeah.
hoping to launch in Anaheim
Oh yeah,
by
okay.
September. It's in terms of high rates of teen pregnancy, Santa Ana has the highest rates,
Uh-huh.
followed by Anaheim.
Yeah.
So these are very large cities with very large numbers of low-income young families.
Uh-huh.
And it is just a city that we have to be in.
Oh yeah.
So we're
over
just
300,000 people for those of you that are. Both of those cities are over 300,000 people, and both of those cities have large, socioeconomic gaps.
Yes.
And areas that can use that help.
Yes.
Now we talked a little bit before also about the men. Let's,
dads.
Let's talk about the dudes. What's
Yeah.
going on with the men? How do you help
dads.
the men? And like you said, not a lot of the men obviously are part of this program, or they're not with the mother of the child and all that kind of stuff. But go into your male program.
Yes, our male program, our dad's program. So dad's program grew out of the mom's program, because we saw that, which we chatted about, not many of the mothers are with the father of the child.
Right.
But they are in relationships. And so here we found that the moms were growing and changing their lives and gaining skills, but they were going home to, with somebody that wasn't on the same page.
Right.
So we saw a great opportunity to reach out to the dads and provide the help. So we learned a lot about that population. Our first way, to reach the fathers is through our couples group program. So moms come to Fristers, love it. We tell them we have a couples group every week. They drag the guy, because
Yeah. That's
men don't want to get help.
pretty much.
They don't want to get help. They don't want to say they need help.
I'm good. Leave me alone.
I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they drag the guys.
Yeah.
They have a great time. They learn something. They find out that this is a safe place, that, these people actually want to help you,
Right.
And so through the couples group, we're working on both the mom and the father. The mom and the dad, or dad figure. And working on the relationship, giving them skills to co-parent, giving them skills to resolve conflict. How do you build a family? All these things. Then the dads are open to our dad's group, which is now solely for dads. run by males. We're very excited. We just brought on a senior program manager to work specifically with our fathers. Baldwin's got 30 years of experience working for Crittenden, which is a group home, social, another agency. And he's able to provide that case management with the dads. So now we have a strong male role model for them. So they get case management services, the same one-on-one. How can we help you? How can we introduce you? What are your hopes, your dreams? Where do you have gaps and need help? And then the curriculum is focused on dads. So many of them, like I said, didn't have a strong father in their life. And so they don't have a role model. They don't know what it means or looks like to be a dad, or perhaps it's not a good one. And, that's how the generational cycle just keeps going without intervention. So we're here to introduce what does it mean to be a dad? How do you bond with your kids? How do you play with your kids? How do you affirm your kids? What do you do? Where can you go? How do you potty train? How do you change a diaper? How do you talk about difficult, situations? How do you use healthy discipline? And maybe you didn't know that because instead you had a father that yelled and screamed and hit. And we're trying to give them other skills. And so our dad's group is growing. And when a dad learns what it takes and starts to Baldwin just showed a video. It was the cutest little YouTube. It was you saw a dad cheering, literally with pom-poms cheering. You just were watching him say a cheer. And then it scanned and you saw the little girl there with her dad and they were doing the cheer together.
That's cute.
And just learning what it means to be a dad, to be there, the importance of being there with your time. It's not just about providing, that is very important, but your time and the attention you give a child.
And you guys do the same thing because men usually need to be, they're usually the breadwinners. They need to get jobs. So you guys.
They do. There's a lot of pressure on dads. A lot of pressure. They are financially responsible.
A lot of times.
And so sometimes they have to work multiple jobs. But they too need to understand opportunities to go to school and to go to vocational training so that they could get a better paying job where they don't have to be gone all the time. So those types of conversations and resources are shared with young dads. And it's life-changing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, because I know dads in general, even guys my age and dads that are obviously older than that, they everybody needs help and everybody needs a place to talk to and everybody needs guidance. And being a guy, I know that it's not easy to go and ask for help and ask and go to a place like this. So, it's really nice that you have a place for how long has the dads thing been around, the dads group?
The dads group has been around. It's grown slowly over the years, but probably launched it 5 or 6 years ago before COVID.
And I'm sure you've seen a lot of growth by now. Because once one dad gets in, hey man, it's not that bad.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
I already know. I just know just being a guy basically. Yeah. But I'm gonna wait for my boy to get in, and then I'll kind of figure out if he says it's cool. Then I'll come. So.
Yes, that's how it works.
Yeah.
That's right. But then they build community when they're there.
Yeah. And now they're all friends, and they probably hang out.
Yes, they do. They
do.
do. So a lot of social groups have come out of that. And they don't ever want to leave.
Yeah.
They really have found a community, and they learn new things every day. I mean, with kids are constantly changing. From a newborn to a 5-year-old to a 10-year-old to a 15. Yeah. Those are completely different things.
Ages, yeah.
And so they continue to need guidance, support, education to navigate a child growing up.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Now to kind of go back to, I'm just going to go back to your brand a little bit and Fristers and things of that nature. How have you seen your brand grow over the years, and kind of where do you see Fristers in the future?
Well, if it was up to me, Fristers would be launched in every city across the country.
Yeah, do you see?
Across Orange County and across the country.
I was going to ask you, because LA is obviously a huge market.
Absolutely.
And we're right here. do you know of any like sister programs in the LA area, or do you know of any programs like you in the are you like the only one?
We are extremely unique in our approach to supporting the entire family.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't even know if there is another program in the country quite like it. There are some other, very few. I mean, I could think of three that are really around the mom, like we are. Very comprehensive programming. But the whole family, when we bring the family and the mom goes in her room, the dad goes in his room, the kids go in their room.
Yeah.
For 2 hours, they're fed, physically,
Yeah. mentally,
gaining skills, and they leave stronger, happier,
Right.
more stable. And it doesn't take that much. $750,000. People, there's money all over the place.
Yeah.
But this is life changing. I mean, we have something that is replicable, that could be replicated across the country.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, because LA and the inner cities of LA,
Yes.
it's probably a bigger issue than it is in Orange County. I just imagine. I don't know the fact.
LA, Riverside, San Diego.
Yeah, and we're
Just
right here.
here.
Yeah, in Southern California, where we have 20 million people. probably
Absolutely.
in
There's
Southern-
plenty of work here. But you think of Chicago, you
Chicago's
think,
probably
you
big
think
issues in
everywhere.
Chicago,
Texas,
Cleveland,
yes,
all these kind of places.
everywhere.
And I just think, yeah, you're like you just said. I think it's a very replicable company,
It is.
basically, and you'll be able to affect more people. I'm just wondering if you've thought about that. Have you has that ever crossed your mind? Even
Of
I would say just to
course.
get into LA, because LA is essentially our market. We're right
Yes.
here. It's I mean,
We could go with money.
it's the money thing.
It's the
huh?
money thing.
Yeah.
It's the money thing. We know how to do it. We've done it
Yeah.
for many years. We know the outcomes. We know what it takes.
Yeah.
It's simply a money thing.
Well, in terms of the money thing, what's your next public event? What's your where people can actually donate and help your business and help your brand and help this mission kind of move forward? Do you guys have a
We have our
public place?
our
to,
ladies' luncheon, which is coming up.
Yeah.
but
Okay, we talked a little bit about that.
happy to say it's sold out.
Oh, it's sold out.
It's our
Okay.
second annual, and it's sold out.
Wow.
250 people.
This is the luncheon is sold out. You're talking about
The luncheon is sold out
250 people.
a month in advance.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah.
you. But we have an event, our big celebration event coming up in September. We need sponsors. With sponsors, you get a table, you get special things. But sponsorships are available, ticket sales. Again, that's the fun one.
That's the
cigar
gala, right?
bar.
I think it's called?
That's the gala.
Yeah, I heard Emily was talking about it.
Yes,
that one.
those are the big ones. But we have always fundraisers during the year. We have a monthly giving program, which is really wonderful for us. People that love us, want to see these families thrive. Whether it's, I have somebody that gives $5 a month. I have somebody that gives $2,500 a month. Every month they're giving us this money. We feel like they're standing with us,
Yeah.
and that really makes a difference, not only for the work we do, but for us, the leadership, knowing that people care.
Yeah, because you guys still
and
have to live. You still have to pay staff. You need
yeah.
people to donate. You need people to.
Every year we have to raise that money.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah. It's tough.
Kind of goals for us, we're looking at launching a capital campaign, raising the money for a down payment to purchase our own building.
Oh.
So rather than continue to shell out rent, which we're grateful to do today,
Yeah.
but as we grow, we need more space, that rent will go up. Why not have a building that can help sustain Fristers
That's a great idea.
going forward? So a capital campaign would help raise probably $500,000, allow us to get a property, allow us to start turning that rent into a mortgage and a long-term investment for us, asset for us. So that's something that's coming up for Fristers. We're opening up stocks and bonds, being able to take them in as donations. There's a lot of
Wow.
tax benefits to that. If you get capital gains on something you sell, if you take the cash, you have to pay the tax. But
Yeah.
if you turn it to a charity, it's a tax donation.
Wait, so that's what I want to get a little bit into that. Wait. So,
I can't give you the specifics, but there's a lot of benefits.
I can buy bonds from you? Wait, I can
No.
do-
You
what?
could donate them.
Oh, I could donate them.
Yes, yes.
Oh, so I could donate my own. Oh yeah, I could donate
Yes.
like I could give you like a Google stock or
Yes.
something.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, those are.
Yes.
Those are
Even there's ways, for higher net
And
worth
then you
people.
guys don't pay the capital gains because you're a
Correct.
nonprofit.
Right.
Got it. Okay, I get it. Okay,
Yes.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, that's a great idea because stocks are easier to give away because
You're not
people
thinking about
You
it.
don't think about it. You don't really earn it. I mean, you earn it, but you don't like.
Right.
You don't like. You don't. Yeah, you know what I mean. You don't. It's not physical work that you're
Correct.
actually working for.
And it's not actually something you're writing out of your
Yes,
checkbook.
you don't feel it as much. No, I know exactly. I think that's a great
But it's
way.
very beneficial. Yeah.
And you guys have already set that up.
We do.
Oh,
We have a
wow.
brokerage account, and we're ready to accept that type of donation and can handle those. Even getting in people's trusts, people who love us and write us into their
Oh.
trust.
Wow.
It's hard to, nobody likes to think about that. But,
Yeah. Like Bill Gates is apparently giving away like his whole net worth, and
Yeah.
the woman I can't remember her name, but Jeff Bezos' wife, the owner of
Yes.
Amazon, she's apparently like giving away her whole net worth to
Yes.
nonprofits. So it's something
Yeah.
something to that effect, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, there's just, whether you have time or talent or treasure, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak, helping and serving others, it's amazing, how you
No,
can
it
change
is.
a life.
It is. I need to give back more.
You are today.
Yeah, I am today, and I'm obviously, we're representing your brand today, and we're kind of putting you out to the world. Well, I guess, is there anything else that maybe we haven't covered, or anything else you want to tell the audience about, or maybe where to find you? Where can they find you online?
Just like finding the domain name, www.fristers.org.
Okay.
Lots of information about our organization, ways to get involved, dates for our special events, success stories.
And you're looking for volunteers. What are you looking for volunteers?
Always looking for
Always?
volunteers. We have a range of whether you just come once a year, once a week, whether you like cooking, be part of our summer picnic and barbecue for the families, or
Cool.
whether you want to be a mentor in the program and support the dads or support the mothers, whether you love kiddos, and you want to be in the nursery, rocking babies or helping toddlers, with their crafts and story time, whether you like special events. At Halloween time, we have a big pumpkin patch event where we give out pumpkins, but we have, companies can adopt a table and dress up and give out candy and treats to the kids.
That's cool.
So we have like 25 different companies involved or organizations that come out, and it's a great time for everybody. So there's just things throughout the year, ways to give back. A lot of pro bono work. Our attorneys, our graphic designers, our website developers, our photographers are all professionals who donate their time for the benefit of our families and Fristers.
It's amazing.
So we're always looking
It's
for
nice
people.
to hear stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That people are willing to go pro bono,
Yeah.
like you just said.
There's companies that have employee, where they have foundations where their employees raise money and then they determine where it should go in the community. We just got, I remember a few months ago, Hogue, the hospital Hogue. They have an employee-sponsored program, Pennies from Heaven or something, and they raised their money and they chose Fristers.
Oh,
And it was a check for, I believe it was like $3,500.
nice.
Which is a fabulous donation.
Great,
And and they were able to give back. So things like that, sponsoring events. There's so many different ways
Yeah.
to being a part of this community and investing in young families that just need a little care and support,
Wow. Well,
and they can do great things.
wow. Well, thanks. Well, anyway, thank you, Allie. I've learned so much from you today about this
Thank you.
topic that I didn't know before. And, thank you for the audience for tuning in. You guys can find Allie on fristers.org. And again, like she just said, she's looking for volunteers. And, just thank you again. And everybody, tune in. And thank you very much.
Thank you.